My new home is the house in the centre of this image, overlooking a rather nice piece of woodland pictured here. This was taken from directly behind where the other photo was taken. So this is my current shack, my upstairs shack room with my laptop and the Hermes software-defined radio and a linear amplifier which I'm in the process of building and testing here. The advantage with the Hermes SDR is it runs over Ethernet. So in theory, this can be located elsewhere away from the shack with only Ethernet cable running between the two. So the Hermes is a really awesome radio, and I've been using it exclusively over the last 6 months. Again, the SDR pictured here, just running over Ethernet. Quisk, and I've been mostly running WSJTX because of the situation here at the moment. I just have a small dipole for 20 meters hanging outside a window rather close to the house, and the SDR by itself is only 5 watts output anyway. One thing I will do is I'll have an SWR meter which also sits on the network, so theoretically then the entire equipment can be based downstairs in the cellar with the noisy fans out of earshot, and I can have everything addressable on the network. So I can band switch, control the linear amplifier, and check my power output and SWR. So here we have a walk downstairs into the cellar, and we have this very small room which sits behind the sauna, which I think is rather ideal for an equipment room. I can have a couple of racks in here, the radios, linear amplifiers, all the electronic equipment, and handily there's this vent at the back of the room which goes through the rather thick insulated walls to the outdoors, which I'm thinking would make quite an easy way to route coax. And I have to say here, the room is not damp. Some of the images there looked damp, it's just the colouring on the walls. So if we walk outside here, we see the sauna window and the outlet for steam from the sauna, and then we have the vent from the back room that we just saw internally. And from here I have a couple of options for antennas. First of all, there's a tree here which could support a vertical, although not ideal. But it was one thought I could run some radials out under the earth there. Alternatively, there's this large patch of land here which is away from the house and could easily support a vertical. And again, it would be very easy to run radials there. But another option I was considering is down the hill I have a shed, and the back of the shed there's a spare patch of land, and again a vertical mast could be placed here, possibly even secured somehow to the shed. But again, it would be close to a building, and I think the roof on the shed is metal, so perhaps not ideal. So I'm thinking this patch of land is probably the best location. The only other option I was considering is at the top of the garden near the road here. Again, it's an empty patch of land. It could be used. It would just mean a longer coax run. But I was thinking if the SDR is in the cellar, then keeping the coax as short as possible and doing it on the slope we saw previously would probably be not only the easiest, but probably the best location. And just for completeness, here I'm walking back around the house on the other side. And the top room The closest one you can see there is the shack room, and at the moment there's just a couple of wires draping out from that window, which is a resonant 20-metre dipole, which is not ideal, but it's just used for testing. And saying that, I'm getting fairly good reports all around Europe and even the US with just 5 watts from the SDR. So ending this, we're back to the cellar, the sauna, and the fantastic view we have of the forest out the back.